Welcome. I'm Rabbi Alex Lazarus-Klein, and I'm joined here today with Joe Glickman and his son, Steve Glickman. Joe and Steve are part of our shofar team over at Congregation Shir Shalom. This is a shofar, one of them, a ram's horn. And we're going to hear from Joe and Steve as they talk about and get ready for Rosh Hashanah. This year, Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, begins this coming week after the broadcast. It begins on Monday, September 6th, going into September 7th and 8th. And it is so exciting to see Joe and Steve. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. I'm doing well. We're in
doing great, thanks.
Different cities.
Yeah, so Steve, you moved across the way, so you're across the state from us right now. So tell me, you Joe, you brought some shofars with you. You want to show what you got?
Yes, here's a shofar Steve uses, and it's the rather long one. I guess it's the antelope horn, and this is what he uses to blow the shofar. And going back in time, prior to those being popular, we used in our family the smaller one, which is the one I'm more familiar with and actually better at than the large one. It takes a little bit more talent than I have to blow the long one for various notes that we do. My father used the size, about this size shofar, and he blew the shofar once prior to coming to Buffalo in 1961 in Columbus, Ohio. And then ever since he came to Buffalo, he was the Bayal Tekiah shofar blower at Temple Beth Am, which was the predecessor for Congregation Shir Shalom. And so he blew it until he passed in 2002. And then Stephen and I have been blowing it, more so Stephen, ever since, with two other people, but primarily it would be Stephen and also myself.
So let's just explain a little bit. So the shofar is really a thousands of year old tradition, and we use it to signal the new year. And actually, we have many different blasts and types of blasts because we don't know exactly what the ancient shofar would sound like. So it's wonderful to think about your father. Were you a little kid when he was blowing the shofar?
Yeah, when I was a little kid, of course, they had a little article in the Buffalo News with me standing there and my father blowing the shofar back in the 1960s. And we've done a couple of those, but this was an article that was written about it way back when. And then more recently, there was an article written about myself standing there blowing the shofar with my son Stephen, and you can see a picture of us two blowing the shofar for a Buffalo News article.
That is so sweet. It seems like you were really learning to blow this instrument from an early age.
More so Stephen. I didn't have the abilities that he has. So I just picked it up as I went along. My father blew brass instruments for the Ohio State Marching Band, and that's where he learned, of course, in high school and college and so on. So that's where he got his experience. And then he blew it for Temple Israel in Columbus, Ohio for many years prior to
Incredible. What did his father blow the shofar before him?
No, his father did not. To my knowledge, he didn't.
So Steve, you really grew up from a very early age blowing the shofar.
Yeah, so I learned to play trumpet back in elementary school, and that skill really develops similar skills to blowing the shofar, except that every shofar is different, so all the mouthpieces are different shapes and sizes. So finding one that is easier or harder is all depending on what you pick up that day in the store, or if you're wandering around the shuk in Israel, they sell them there, and you can't really design a a shofar to fit your needs. You have to find a shofar that's out there that you enjoy blowing. And the one that is behind my dad there is probably the second or third one that I ended up settling on based on my preferences for how to blow the shofar.
I've been watching a little Harry Potter recently, and to find your wand, it feels like that. The wand kind of picks you in the end. Why is it so hard, Stephen, to blow the shofar? What is it about it?
I think you just have to develop a feel for how it works as a musical instrument or as a horn. I don't know if you can define it as a musical instrument, but most instruments that are played and designed are pretty uniform. If you look at an orchestra or a band, you pick up one instrument, it's just like another. But with shofars, it's difficult because they're all extremely different. Whatever that ram or antelope ate is how that horn developed throughout its life, and then figuring out, how to adjust. I guess your mouth along the mouthpiece is just getting a feel for it. And there's some shofars that I can't blow, and there's some shofars that I can, and a lot of practice helps.
All right, so I think maybe we should let people hear a little bit of the sound. Do you want to see? Well, why don't we test out? There's 4 different major sounds of shofar blasts. The first is tikiya, that's the basic. Joe, do you want to see if you can blow that one? You're going to use your dad's.
Yeah, I'll use this one.
We'll see. We actually don't know in this kind of recording how it will work. So it's a very simple one. And when you blow that, it's just one sound. Then, Stephen, did you have you don't have a shofar with you?
No,
Okay, so
my dad's going to demo today.
Your dad's going to represent. Then we have the shavarim, which is a broken sound. And usually, how many when you break up the shavarim? How often? How many parts?
The shavarim is broken up into 3 parts, and the trua, the next one, is broken up into 9 parts.
All right, so why don't you do the trua so you can hear the difference in that sound? Okay, I think we got it reversed. I think you did the shavarim right.
I thought you wanted the other one first, but anyway, and then you want the one with the 9?
Yeah, why don't you do that one? Okay, so those are what the rabbis thought all of the different potential sounds. And I see you're getting your big shofar there, because the very final blast is called the Tikiya Gedolah, and this is a Glickman specialty. That's the great shofar blast, and it's very difficult at this time, and also we're a couple of weeks from Holies Days, so Joe has time to do it. When you do it, what's the longest you've ever been able to do it? Have you ever timed it or know how long you do it?
I haven't, but I'm sure some of the kids that line up in the aisles of the room end up bringing their stopwatches, and I see them out of the corner of my eye when I do it. So I've been told it was somewhere a little over a minute, I've heard.
Yeah, it's one of the great pleasures of High Holidays on Rosh Hashanah is to wait for the shofar, the Baal Tikiya, to come out and to do the Tikiya Gedolah. It's the very final blast that they do, as well as on Yom Kippur at the end of the holiday season there. And Stephen does it, and the greatest thing is he does it so long, his face turns completely red. So it's wonderful. Hold on, Joe. I think we lost your voice there for a second. Yeah, unfortunately. it's not, we lost your voice transmission a little bit. So Stephen, what is it like to have the honor of shofar blowing?
Oh, I love it. It's great seeing everybody at the synagogue, and it's what everybody comes to. Oh, maybe I'm biased, but it's what I think everybody comes to see on Rosh Hashanah. You don't get it for any of the other holidays throughout the year, and standing up in front of everyone, I see when the announcement comes along to blow the shofar, all the kids come running in from the hallways, everyone gathers around, and it's really the highlight for everybody. And to be a part of that, and to be a legacy of my grandfather, it's just it's a real honor, especially to do it at Congregation Shir Shalom for I believe it's 15 years now, at least 15 years, or 18.
Wow,
might be 18. Yeah,
incredible. Well, thank you, Joe and Steve. It's such a pleasure to hear from you and to hear your unique story as shofar blowers, a family of shofar blowers. We wish everyone in the Jewish community a Shana Tova, Mituka, a sweet and happy New Year, and take care wherever you are.
Thank you.
Shana Tova.